Transervice is a third-party logistics provider, but we're really so much more. We provide not only logistics and dedicated services, but we also provide fleet maintenance services, full service leasing service, as well as brokerage. We don't make a customer fit into our mold. It's our job to fit into their mold. So as a result, our operations are very, at times complex, at times unique, at times dynamic, at times very straightforward. But it's our job to meet our customers' needs and our customers' needs. Who's the end user? Who's getting their product? Who are we distributing to at the end of the day? Bolt has really come to be the glue on our dedicated side to really bring all of those different facets of our organization together. Our contact with Bolt System was pretty interesting. It actually started as most great relationships do. We had a need, and they had an amazing product. One specific example I can remember where Bolt definitely helped Transervice streamline our operations was a situation where we had a very short window to deploy a system. We were replacing a current carrier, and we were fortunate to earn new business. During that transition process, we found out that the carrier actually owned the previous TMS system and not the customer. So we needed to be able to deploy rapidly a system that we could easily train on, integrate with the customer system, and as well as deploy at an economical value in a very quick turnaround, probably about a week. Our dispatch teams are far more now dynamic, far more informed, far more trained, and far more capable of reacting to a customer's questions. Now, instead of picking up the phone every time of where's my truck, instead of having to go to a customer or interact with the warehouse to determine what stops are on this load, what door is it backed into, when's it supposed to dispatch, when's it supposed to arrive. That communication mitigation by itself has allowed our dispatchers to be extremely productive and reactive to just about any situation that they incur. From a corporate point of view, it's also allowed us to streamline operations, eliminating redundancy in reporting, allowing us to begin integrating with payroll systems, allowing us to automate our billing processes. Those streamlined events have been not only beneficial to our bottom line, but they've also been beneficial to the stakeholders for those particular departments. One of the many exciting parts of Bolt is that it can be accessed anywhere. It can even be accessed on a phone, on a tablet, or of course via a web browser in a dispatcher's office. When we run into weather situations is really where Bolt helps us shine. When we have users that can't get to their office, when they can't get to the distribution center, when we have drivers that are out on the road potentially in harm's way in the case of a snowstorm or a hurricane, being able to not only interact with that driver, but having corporate, operational, and field-based and customer buy-in as to what's happening with that driver and that resource and ensuring their well-being is critical. Not only to make sure that that driver is in a safe haven, in a safe space, or in a good parking zone, but also to keep them informed of things that might be happening, changes in weather, even road construction delays. They're not always emergency tragic situations, but when they are, you're going to want to have to make sure that you can access the system from anywhere that you are at any time. Transervice uses the Bolt Tandem app as well, and we've deployed that to our driver base. We have found this to be an extraordinary tool for our drivers. Not only does it now make our drivers a pure shareholder and stakeholder in what they do, but it has streamlined our communication and made our workflow much more consistent, much more timely, as well as giving the driver more information in one place than we've ever had before. And the hours of service is also very robust and built directly into the platform for us. So now, instead of the driver having a complexity of 4 or 5 apps to do their job, they're doing it with one. Bolt support has always been there when we've needed them, whether it's in the early morning hours or whether it's during the day. They clearly communicate with us very well, and they also ensure that we have a very clear expectation of a return of a result, whether that's a programming change from something, it might be a major change of something that we're looking to implement or something custom that a specific customer may have requested that we need to build. It may be a programming algorithm. It might be a billing module that we might need to add. We go through a very clear and concise timeline with them to make sure that all expectations are not only on the table, but that that timeline is established. And Bolt has always met that timeline. Every user, if they wanted to, can get a little chaotic, but every user ultimately can access and call Bolt if needed. So if they can't get through our internal field support and our internal IT support, they always have that option to go directly to Bolt. That support is always available to them, and Bolt has always come through. We really settled in on Bolt for many reasons, and I went back to complexity. All the complexity that you want is there if you want it. The core of the system is intentionally built, developed, and streamlined to ease transition for new employees, for existing employees for future enhancements, or for transitioning employees, as in the case with the carrier, where we may be replacing another carrier. From a motivational point of view, from a positive behavioral point of view, from the way that our employees interact with the system, not only again from dispatch to operations to field technology to IT to corporate, we have just found that that interaction, that visibility, that network now of people now working together instead of having an operation out in the middle of nowhere, sort of feeling like they're on an island, that connectivity has really motivated our employees to take part in our entire chain of what we do. And that ROI itself is just, it's unmeasurable. Transervice is often asked and often consulted on what type of technologies that we recommend, whether it's a current customer, whether it's a prospect, whether sometimes it's even a competitor. We have discussions at a trade show as to what everyone is using. They always want to know what we're using and what our best practices are. Transervice always lists Bolt at the top of that list due to their ability to react, due to their customer support, due to their flexibility. We've been able to offer more enhancements and more communications and stability to our customers and our own internal systems than we've ever had before. Transervice highly recommends Bolt system as a TMS platform. We actually provide it to many of our customers, and it's actually our go-to platform for new customers as we deploy to those customers. As Transervice continues to expand and grow and earn the business of new customers, we actually describe to them what we're going to be implementing, and we'll actually demonstrate Bolt to them so that they have an expectation and see how wonderful the platform is and see what we see.